damn, it's 8:18. Because it's interesting. Like we're kind of seeing the reconciliation come for people who are known shitheads and known abusive people in the industry. Like the video, subscribe, share, comment if you could. The news coming out this week about the latest lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs, everybody. Will, if you could pop up the Huffington Post article for me, please. Because this has made some waves around entertainment news. This is the latest lawsuit that Sean Diddy Combs has been hit with ever since former bad boy artist and his former, I don't know, was Cassie a girlfriend? Was she a hostage? Was she a prisoner? Could Cassie come and go when she please? I don't even know what to call Cassie. But former bad boy artist Cassie sued the entertainment mogul for allegations that he abused her sexually, restricted her freedoms, forced her to engage in sex with sex workers that she didn't want to, a lot of nasty things. Um, Diddy ended up settling with Cassie one day after her lawsuit was filed. And since then, at least three other lawsuits have been filed, two by women who encountered Diddy, I believe, in the 90s, who alleged that he raped them. And this latest one comes from a producer, Lil Rod, real name Rodney Jones Jr. And the headline reads, producer Lil Rod accuses Diddy of sexual assault and harassment. And in his 72-page lawsuit, he alleges a whole RICO, a racketeering organization. And he also names, in addition to Diddy, the heads of Universal Music Group, the heads of Motown Records, and he names Universal and Motown Records as defendants as well. So what happened was Lil Rod worked for Diddy for a very short amount of time, from 2022 to 2023. In fact, the lawsuit indicates that he worked with him less than a year, producing records from Diddy's Love album, some of which were actually Grammy nominated. And Will, if you could, I want us to cue up the video of Lil Rod, because before filing this lawsuit, and we're going to get back to some of the details of the lawsuit here in a minute, but I want to set this up properly because chronology is important here. So before filing this lawsuit, Lil Rod had posted on Instagram and asking his fans to support his GoFundMe page. Why would a Grammy nominated music producer who worked with the likes of Diddy need a GoFundMe? Well, because in true P. Diddy fashion, Diddy was playing funny with the money. Shock to no one. It's amazing to me how fuck Diddy could even get people to still work with him even before all these most recent allegations come out. But I digress. So I want us to take a look at Lil Rod and listen to what he had to say about the experience of working with Diddy. Now, to be clear, he's only speaking about the fact that he was not paid in this video. He didn't talk about the sexual harassment and assault allegations he later made in the lawsuit. But this is his opening salvo for his grievances with Sean Combs. Let's take a look at the video.
I apologize to anyone this video may be embarrassing to. Let's just jump right into it. Some of you may know me or may not. I'm a music producer who's a writer and musician. Different genres. I started in the gospel and jazz and R&B and worked my way over to the hip hop side. I've been working on an album. I took a year off straight working on this album. That album is the Love album, Off the Grid by Diddy. And it's Grammy nominated right now as we speak. I should be celebrating, but the truth is I'm not. Taking this album on has required so much time, months and at a time, 16 hours to 24 hours a day. Sometimes, Diddy will request certain works to be done and tell us don't go to sleep until it's done. And the truth is, we'll be up for days trying to accomplish that. I've tried to get my business straight with them on the album, but the truth is they're not playing fair. They hit me on below the belt on so many situations. Just dealing with this. It's the contract that they give me and the offer that they gave me was just disgusting. The producer fee, pennies, and on top of that, these guys are trying to steal my publishing. I can't go for that, so I'm fighting back. He's a fighter, but I'm gonna put in this fight. I gotta do it for myself, my rights, and most importantly, my kids. Taking my publishing or stealing it is just, I'm not gonna let that happen. Not gonna let that happen. Again, this is one of those projects that took so much time from me. I missed holidays with my family, just out working on this album. At what point I was running around with the hard drives, the computer, just to run the ball on this album, to finish the production on it, make sure that this album came to, a good project with good vibes, just where it is right now. And just to be offered little to no participation in this is highly disrespectful. I won't be that guy 20, 30 years from now looking back saying, I wish I'd done this. I'm going to do this now. Doing this situation is not easy. Taking Puff to court, suing him is not easy. I don't have the monies that it's going to take to fight him in court. So I'm just asking, if you're in support, please. The link is in my bio to my GoFundMe. The money will go towards my attorney fees.
He also went on to say that he was only compensated, I believe, $29,000. And I think he was even trying to get the number up to $50,000. But Diddy and his people allegedly rebuffed that counter offer of 50 grand. This producer, Little Rod, said that for the better part of almost a year, he was running around the country behind Diddy, recording at all hours and actually recording all kinds of shit at all hours, not just in the studio recording this album. So let's go back to the HuffPo. So in the lawsuit, Little Rod said that again, he was not compensated properly for his what he claims are thousands of hours of labor as a music producer, recording, transporting equipment, producing, arranging, the things that producers do. It's a time consuming endeavor there. But he also says that he was doing some videography for Diddy. He said he was around Diddy so much, traveling with Diddy back and forth to Los Angeles, to Miami, to New York, that Diddy would often take Little Rod's phone and make videos and do recordings. And this is part of Little Rod's lawsuit, in which he has attached videos, he has attached photos, he has named some names in this lawsuit. In one instance, he says that it was widely known and accepted that at Diddy parties that the alcohol would be laced. The inference, I'm not sure if he named the substance, but the inference is that it was some sort of roofie, some sort of rohypnol, the rape drug, the roofie drug. You give people the drug and they alcohol, they don't remember what happens. Right. And that's the rapist's favorite. They love that shit. Love the roofies. It's not a shock to me that Puff Daddy was a roofie connoisseur. The dispensing of the roofies, that sounds about right. Um, he also, Little Rod, in his lawsuit, alleges that numerous celebrities attended Diddy's parties in which there would be underage girls there available for sex. Some of the names are redacted out of this lawsuit. Some are speculating. No, let me not go with speculation, because then I won't be no better than that broad I was just talking about. But what I heard was no, that's trifling. Once the names get unredacted, then the public can discover that shit and people can think what they want. But one name that was not redacted was Cuba Gooden Jr. They said Cuba Gooden Jr. was kicking it with Diddy and in this producer Little Rod in Miami, allegedly, enjoying some of the hedonistic things that were happening at Diddy's soiree. But where Little Rod alleges assault or suspects that he was assaulted, one of his duties that Diddy tasked him with while in Miami was to go to the strip clubs or a specific strip club to wear the Bad Boy Entertainment baseball cap. And that would be a signal to the dancers that Diddy was in town and that Diddy was looking for some girls, some sex workers. So, Little Rod alleges that after one of these parties in which some of these sex workers were recruited to the party, that he woke up in bed naked, had no memory what had happened, and was joined in bed with sex workers and Diddy. So that is where I believe he alleges rape or sexual assault. However, he does allege that he was subjected to unwanted touching, um, propositioning, and fondling from Diddy at any given time. And he says that he made it clear to Diddy that he was a straight man who, I'm not certain if he's married or has a longtime partner, but who was purported, in a relationship with a woman and who has a family. But when Little Rod communicated some of his concerns about Diddy's behavior, especially these unwanted sexual overtures to Diddy's chief of staff, a woman by the name of Christina, she just kind of shrugged her shoulders and like, well, that's Diddy. And a lot of people are calling this lawsuit like bombshell Epstein-esque, sort of, to the level of Jeffrey Epstein and Epstein Island and the long lines of exploited folks who were just there to be at the sexual whims of Jeffrey Epstein. And this lawsuit, Little Rod alleges similar things. It's a RICO lawsuit, y'all. We're gonna have to ask Kamal Franklin what the fuck that means. That shit sounds serious. That shit sounds serious. Another incident in which Little Rod describes, let's see, there's underage girls, there's where he thought he may have been assaulted himself, and then the issue of famed producer Stevie J comes up. Now I saw this reported a bit on TMZ, because what Little Rod alleges in the lawsuit is that he himself was a tremendous fan and admirer of Stevie J, and he alleges, Little Rod, that Diddy sent him a screenshot of what Diddy said was Stevie J involved in a sexual act with another man, and Diddy allegedly using this picture or this image to entice or coerce Little Rod, be like, see, well, you like, you admire Stevie J. Well, look at Stevie J. This is what Stevie J is doing, right? But that has been refuted and debunked because a gay porn star by the name of Knockout actually says that that image is of him and not of Stevie J. So TMZ was using that one instance as a means of perhaps trying to discredit what Little Rod said. I don't take that as discrediting what he said, because what he said was, this is an image that Diddy sent him. This is what Diddy told him this was. Now, Diddy could have been lying, right? Probably was lying. Like, he was trying to get that man's goodies. Okay. He was trying to tell him anything to get his goodies and trying to tell him that this is how Stevie J gets down. And see, look, that's Stevie J. I'm sure that this man, this Little Rod, if he is who he says he is, this hetero Christian, family man, you know, y'all, the hetero Christian black family men are deeply uncomfortable with with gay things. They are so uncomfortable with the gay things. My guess is that Little Rod did not interrogate this image to blow it up and try to verify that it was Stevie J. He just took Diddy word for it that it was Stevie J. So my point is that doesn't discredit this lawsuit to me. TMZ was trying to say there was red flags all over this lawsuit. I'm like, bro, 73 pages worth of very specific incidents, accompanied with media, supplementary evidence, photos, pictures, video. Showed, hey, that sounds like a well documented lawsuit to me. Diddy has, of course, denied all of this. Saying that his representative said that the name dropping done in this lawsuit is completely, defamatory, inflammatory. We categorically deny, blah, blah, blah. But the problem is when there's smoke, there's fire. And Diddy's recent lawsuits begin from the 90s, and this lawsuit concludes with incidents that this young man alleges happened in 2023. So we're talking about a decades long pattern of behavior. P. Diddy is notorious for not only being an abusive boss, being very hard and impossible on his artist. It is well known that Diddy is an alleged thief of publishing, right? For decades, everybody knows this. And the fact that Diddy can still take advantage of hungry, green little gophers who really just want to get on in the worst way. Oh my God, Diddy wants to work with me. Stop ignoring these stories you hear about these terrible people thinking that somehow it's not going to be you this time. This young man talking about, I don't want it to be me 20, 30 years from now. Nigga, you knew what kind of time the nigga was on when you met him. You knew that you didn't have your paper work together when you met him. Because if you did, he wouldn't have been able to try to throw a little chump change at you, right? And yeah, so what was being alleged on TMZ is that Little Rod is out for money. No shit, he's out for money. He worked thousands of hours, according to him, and received a pittance, if anything, received pennies for all of his labor. Of course, he wants money. He wants to be compensated for the work that he did. But while he's at it, I'm sure he figured that using the experience that I find credible and I am inclined to believe, if not all, in part of what Little Rod said that he experienced while in Diddy's company, I find I find a lot of that believable because this is what he does. Diddy, that is. He not only financially exploits his artists, he sexually exploits his artists. This is known. And the rumors that Diddy has an affinity for straight men or straight presenting men is also known, right? And it's a shame that because of deep homophobia and patriarchy, that there are not more men willing to come forward and share what they have experienced or endured or were coerced into doing at the hands of P. Diddy. Cat Williams alluded to it a little bit during the Club Shay Shay interview. And Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp did not want to go down that, pardon the pause, he didn't want to go down that hole at all. He didn't want to go down that hole at all. Cat Williams said, I got the receipts of Diddy texted me, propositioning me. And Shannon was like, wow. Anyway, next question. And you saw a little bit that in the Cat Williams interview with Willie D as well. And it's like there are men out here with Me Too stories about dudes that are purported to be about bitches, right? Diddy mess with J Lo, mess with this one, that one, all the girls in the video, Diddy's bitches. Yeah, nobody wants to admit that that dude offered to fellatiate them, right? Not only because of his power, but because men who get unwanted proposition, sexually propositioned by other men, they don't want to be perceived as gay. And that's where the homophobia and the patriarchy got my brothers in a chokehold. Like, don't be silent and let these people abuse you. Don't be silent and let these people take advantage of the fact that you don't want to be slurred, unfortunately, slurred as gay, right? In our community, because our community is still homophobic as fuck. You don't want to get mistaken or get painted with the brush as gay. So this man, this abuser, this predator gets to continue to operate with impunity. That's not, I can't even go down all the younger people that Diddy is alleged to have abused. I won't even talk about the person that just performed at the Super Bowl, or the little pop star that person actually discovered. Right? These are stories that I think are going to eventually come out. I think Christopher Williams is going to eventually tell his story. I think there are a lot of people are going to continue to find real inspiration to take down this tyrant, even if it comes in the form of public humiliation, especially if it comes in the form of running his fucking pockets, run that motherfucker's pockets. That is all that's Christopher Wallace's blood money. You feel me? That's a lot of people's blood money. That's Black Rob's blood money. That's Craig Mack's blood money. Like, run this motherfucker for his pockets, all of them. But don't. I'm sorry. I'm inclined to believe victims or survivors until there is evidence to the contrary, right? And 73 pages, not to say that just filling up a lawsuit with multiple dozens of pages automatically makes it credible, but I don't think it's something that should be easily dismissed.